It's been absolutely insane 24 hours. And really, Jaime, you've been talking about this amongst ourselves since this weekend about everything that's been going on with FTX and Sam Bankman-Fried and CZ and Binance.
Yes.
So it has been obviously all over the news. You guys probably know what's happening by now, I would imagine. But if you do happen to live under a rock, what I will say is I can give you a little bit of a backstory. So FTX almost died overnight. And the FTX token is down about 94% last I checked. CZ performed an absolute god move on FTX. So it's been absolutely insane. The FTX or Sam Bankman-Fried and CZ, you started out as friends, and Binance was the first investor or major investor of FTX, correct?
Correct.
Which are both centralized exchanges. If you didn't know, FTX and Binance are centralized exchanges where people that want to get into cryptocurrency can go there, load money into their account, trade, lend, do a number of different things that you could do on regular traditional stock lending platforms or stock, just platforms in general. It's just in the crypto world. Right. So centralized exchanges.
Yes.
So then part of that was that Binance agreed to buy $2 billion worth of FTT, which is the FTX token that they created to use for trading fees. And anybody correct me if I'm off on any of this.
Sure.
But then Binance and FTX become competitors, but they're friendly with each other. Mm-hmm. There wasn't a whole lot of FTT trading volume, really, since that point. Mm-hmm. 2 days ago, or 3 days ago now, CZ comes out and says that Sam Bankman-Fried has been talking a lot of shit to them, about them to regulators, about Binance to regulators, lobbying in a way that would hurt Binance. And we've seen kind of Sam Bankman-Fried kind of almost take like this, I don't want to get too political, but just kind of like this leftist approach, and which really kind of gave CZ this huge rub and Binance this huge rub, especially when it came to regulation. And that's the important part. It's not because of their political affiliation, but it's more along the lines of fiscal, I guess, conservatism.
The question is, who's your daddy, right? Like, is the government your daddy, or do you believe in sovereign currency? Like, do you believe? And that's the whole deal with cryptocurrency.
Correct.
Like, you are the big daddy. Government's not the big daddy. The government doesn't come and save you. You have to keep your keys safe. You have to maintain financial responsibility. And so, that's the piece where this isn't political, but people can make policy around that.
Yes,
it's a matter of government is your daddy, right?
Correct. So then, as a result, CZ, aka and Binance, decide that they're going to put it all over Twitter that they're going to sell the $2 billion of FTT, this token that would cripple FTX, because FTX has used FTT as leverage on their platform.
Yes, and it goes so from the principle of Binance CZ. He's always looked at the entire crypto sphere where he is a centralized exchange and he is not under U.S. regulatory rules, and he looks for safe havens around the world to have the exchange exist and the interface exist. The challenge, as you well stated, was Sam and CZ supported Sam's building of FTT or FTX by providing liquidity. The way he did it is by bringing FTT into his exchange, which is a global exchange, for people to trade and transact on it. What had been occurring, which seemed like a banter between them, is then Sam at certain points was saying, hey, are you going to join us at DC? Oh, that's right. You can't come to DC. And you could see Sam starting to now grab the political legislation of the United States in favor of FTX and kind of moat his company, not at the sacrifice or at the expense of sovereignty, the big daddy concept that Brandon just explained, where now the government, the suits, like Great Boy stated, we're now the one telling you if you had the rights to have privacy and everything else.
Yeah. And so at that point, Alameda enters the picture,
Yes.
which is a hedge fund or market maker that Sam Bankman-Fried started before FTX. But then there is news that came out that emperor has no clothes. They have a $12 billion in assets, $7 billion in liabilities, but half of their assets are an FTT token.
And Solana.
Yes, which also shit the bed.
Understandably.
So then Alameda and FTX are both in trouble. And then and the crazy part is that like mainstream media and some of like CNBC's and Fox's of the world were like sucking on Sam Bankman-Fried's dick so hard because of his genius, and then didn't do any due diligence on this. And admittedly,
Technical
I had
term,
neither.
of course.
Right.
Yeah, that's through the. Okay, go.
And so just to kind of see how much that he had leveraged. I mean, this to me, if you guys recall, what was the family office that
Venture.
it was family office that like pumped up like Paramount and Discovery and some of the other ones and like completely
Voyager.
Lehman Brothers.
Yes, it was Voyager. So this is what it reminds me of,
FTX bailed out.
yeah, but this
Yes.
is what it reminds me of because of the basically CZ called his bluff
Yes.
and was like fucking gotcha, you know,
Yeah.
like.
And literally, it
And-
was a brilliant move.
And so now, because of all of that, CZ's like, hey, now that I got you, I'm going to buy your ass out. Or,
Sam actually reached out to him.
well, yes, but CZ knew this was happening, right? Like
Yes.
he set the chips, or he moved the chess pieces in place
Mhm.
to where Sam didn't have a choice at that point.
Correct.
Because who's gonna bail him out? Nobody else is, except for CZ.
And CZ is still brilliant on this move because he signed an LOI, letter of intent, where it still gives, he's not committed to it. So you're seeing a lot of tweets where it's like, CZ's buying FTX. No, he is not. He is put it on the table. He's doing his due diligence and will now has the option to say, you know what, fuck it. I'm not doing this. Because if it is the emperor's clothes and he is truly naked, why is he going to buy an asset or a company that brings now regulatory scrutiny? Because now a CFTC got involved and said, hey, we're watching this. We're going to see what happens. And if it puts the crypto world at risk, I believe CZ will be like, fuck this. I'm not doing this. And
this is
these
what
two
he
lessons,
said.
yeah.
So not only does CZ come out and say that we're looking to now acquire FTX, and then like digs the knife in or salt into the wound here with this tweet that says
It's part of his due diligence, by the way.
Yeah, correct. But it says 2 big lessons. Never use a token you created as collateral, which is common sense as far as I'm concerned. Don't borrow if you run a crypto business. Don't use capital efficiently, quote, efficiently, have a large reserve. Binance has never used BNB, which is their token, for collateral, and we have never taken on debt. Stay safe.
Big brain.
Yes. And
But that's not even like big brain shit. That's what I'm trying to like say. Like that
In
to
big
me-
business, it is big brain because there's too many smooth brains in big business with bigger egos than they have actual sensibilities. So
And
I'd
that's-
argue that is actually
correct.
uncommon.
And that's what got SBF,
Mhm.
right? Like you used a token that you thought was worth a shit when it really wasn't,
Right.
to leverage your entire business.
And then try to leverage it where legislation's in your favor and using debt to
Yeah.
do this versus actual value inside.
Right. And it wasn't just the $2 billion that CZ was like, oh, I'm going to dump this and I have all the power. It was CZ dumping it and then everybody else following CZ because of the influence that he has. Like, I think that Sam Bankman-Fried thought that he was the guy that had all the influence when he really wasn't.
You're not that guy, pal.
He's not.
Trust me.
He's not.
And now it's by the fruits you will know these men, literally is what's been happening here. So Sam Bankman and CZ began together, supported each other together, but CZ has always been transparent. And all of us OGs who've been in the crypto space for a long time see, even when he got screwed and hacked, and like every technology occurs, he always stood to recover, replace, and support the ecosystem, the crypto industry overall, by creating the SAFU, or the safe funds to protect users policies, where he separates. It's up to a little over $1 billion or $1 billion now. So if he's ever hacked, he can pay back anyone affected by this. So he's always been building, and he's always been transparent on what he's doing. When a country went against, they're like, no, we're going to come after you. He's like, fuck it, I'm moving out of it, and looking for jurisdictions that support the evolution and the next steps for the crypto industry. So that's what CZ has been establishing. And if you follow him, even on the Twitter side, he's supported Elon support, because they're trying to build, they're trying to make things better, regardless of what anyone else thinks, trying to keep that transparency through there. Sam has been molding the company. It's more like a bank perspective of using debt, leverage, and everything else, which is one of the things that's wrong with our own country, by overprinting and everything else. Using traditional finance for an industry that is supposed to be store of value and functionally different. So here's where CZ said on Sunday, which is what I posted, he said, there's some backstabbing here that's going on to the industry. Thus, my vote is I'm moving off of FTT. Whoever wants it can take it, but we're stepping out of supporting this process. And that's what began this whole demise. So well done. I mean,
and we do need to understand, though, why FTX has seemingly gone illiquid. And that's going to be a huge topic in the next coming days. So right now, the big question is, what do I do? There's blood in the streets. We talked about it at the beginning with the charts, and I want to know why. The why right now is the news. And it's that this Chinese run company, BINANCE, has seemingly, or is seemingly, going to acquire the largest US central exchange, FTX, run by Sam. Okay. So in the next coming days, while there's blood in the streets and everybody is freaking out, what do I do? Right now, the answer is absolutely nothing. You watch right now, unless you know how to short trade and trade these types of volatile markets. Do nothing right now other than dollar cost average Bitcoin. Right now. Because what we need to figure out, and because we're going to have the Jerome Powells and the likes, any sort of regulatory body right now is watching this whole situation unfold, salivating, because we very well might have given regulators all the ammo they need to jump in and save us. Okay. So what are they looking for?
Quote, save us.
Quote unquote. What are they looking for, and what needs to be figured out? So there's a lot of different theories going around that Sam Bankman-Fried used depositors or everyday people's funds that they use to buy coins, that he used those funds to buy other tokens or go into debt to loan that money out. That is extremely illegal. And if that is in fact what comes to light, Sam Bankman-Fried is going to go to jail. Period. He's going to go to prison if that is determined. We do not know that yet. Otherwise, if that's not what's happening, what could possibly be going on with this FTX being so illiquid? They have tons of money right now. It was at one point like 12 billion plus, 14 billion plus. So, what's going on with this? They have FTX Stadium. They just acquired Voyager. They bailed Voyager out. They seemingly have all this money. So what's going on? And I think a lot of this stuff, we were talking about this off camera, is yes, FTX holds a lot of assets, but those assets right now are illiquid. Funds pledged to bail out Voyager are not going to be able to be used to handle this situation. I don't think that they obviously anticipated $6 billion in redemption out of FTX over this past weekend. That is a major problem. So it's like all of a sudden your bank account for your personal accounts is at zero, but you own your house, you own your cars, you might even own some other investments that you just can't get money from. So it's not that they're bankrupt, so to speak. It's where are the funds? Why are they locked up? Why are we insolvent right now? And we need to determine that, because if it's using user funds, to loan out money, that's prison. If it's other things, they're just jammed up in illiquid assets. That's one thing. So now we are looking at, okay, CZ is acquiring FTX. We need to make that clear. That is very, very different from FTX collapsing in upon itself. So where are the differences there? If I'm being acquired versus basically I'm just left to fall all by myself and there's no one there to bail me out. Absolutely. This needs to unfold over the next couple of days, which is why I say right now, do nothing. If Sam Bankman-Fried did use loan out user funds, I'm going to be very disappointed in that, because he basically stood for anti that. And he was supposed to be the altruistic, for the people type of president in the driver's seat of the strong, one of the strongest central exchanges in the US. So if he did that, that is not good. And like I said, that will definitely equal prison. So,
yes,
there could be some difference here, and people are comparing it to the Terra Luna collapse and the 3ACs and the Voyagers of the world. But this one is a little bit different. Now, the market, I'm sure Don and Jaime can tell you, the market is reacting as if it was just a straight implosion and it's the next one in line. And that's understandable. People have PTSD from Luna, 3ACs, and the likes. So they're pulling their money and they're taking their loss and they're running. So that is what it looks like in the market right now. I don't think that's exactly what it is. I personally am not sold that Binance is going to fully acquire FTX. I think that would have a lot of problems with the regulatory laws and issues trying to actually acquire it. I think this is just something that's got to play out, and all the due diligence that's being done. Let's see what happens with that. But I will say this, and I will stand by this. If Binance does acquire FTX, even almost if they don't at this point, we know who bent the knee. Okay, FTX is next in line of a very long list of untouchables that has now bent the knee to CZ.
Yeah, they
Once
got diddled.
this is done, and it all comes out, I will maintain that at this moment in the crypto time, CZ is the single most powerful man in all of cryptocurrency. And he sits at the head of a company based in China. Hopefully he continues to incubate US companies that can have a big influence on regulation, because we need that. But I will maintain that right now, there is no one stronger in all of crypto than CZ. And the only way at this moment that he gets uprooted from his throne at this point is if Satoshi actually comes to light, moves tokens from the Genesis wallet, and makes himself, herself, or themselves known. Full stop. CZ is the man at this moment.
Yeah.